Imagine being homeless while needing to raise millions of dollars. Do you know what that does to your psyche? Like when you are in utter poverty and you need to go and present to people and tell them, yeah, I need $1.8 million to do X, Y, and Z, while having not even $100 in your pocket.
So y'all killing each other over 5,000 sub channels?
No.
See, and this is another thing that gets me mad right here. The arrogance of this comment. He said, you're killing people over a 5,000 sub channel. And this is what I learned growing up in poverty. 5,000 subscribers, let's just turn it into dollars, right? If you're a millionaire, you're like, oh, you killed somebody over $5,000. $5,000 is a fortune to some people. 5,000 subscribers is a fortune to some people. 5,000 subscribers is just, you don't know what they may have struggled through and persevered through to get to 5,000 subscribers. You don't know what someone might do for $5,000. For some people, $5,000 will change their life. For other people, $5,000 is just a weekend in Vegas. To some people, $5,000, I've misplaced $5,000. I might have $5,000 just sitting in this bag, right? But will I ever underestimate what $5,000 means to someone who is struggling? Hell nah. Will I ever forget the value of $5,000? Hell nah. I won't forget the value of 50 cents. There was a time that 50 cents could have changed my life and my day. True. There was an actual time that 50 cents could have changed my day. Like from a bad day to a happier day. So you have these people here in Canada, a nice little socialist country. These people who are not even really, supposed to be there, right? One's Haitian, he should be in Haiti, right? And one's East African, he should be in East Africa. These privileged characters who are now making a bunch of money on YouTube for making goofy reaction videos, which offers very little value in the society. And their nose is so high that they're saying, oh, you're killing someone over a 5,000 subscriber channel. That guy may have worked his butt off to get to 5,000 subscribers. And he may be making a living for the first time legally with those 5,000 subscribers. He may have been able to quit a job he hates because of those 5,000 subscribers. It disgusts me to hear them moralize and suggest that because it was 5,000 subscribers, okay, it's not worth it. No, for you, it's not worth it because maybe you have 1 million subscribers. So yeah, 5,000 subscribers doesn't mean much. But to him, his 5,000 subscribers are as valuable to him as your 1 million subscribers are to you. Why? Because if he loses all of his YouTube channel, the 5,000 subscribers is 100% of what he has. Just like your 1 million subscribers is 100% of what you have. If you lose 100% of what you have, what do you have left? Nothing. And when you have nothing, you have nothing to lose. And that, my friends, is very dangerous. And that's why I know these guys ain't real. You feel me? They're not real because they've miscalculated. They can't understand other people. Huh? No, they can't understand other people. In fact, these boys they wouldn't make it in the hood. They be living too dangerously. They do something stupid. And when somebody's ready to take their life, they're like, oh, chill out. You're taking yourself too seriously. Okay. You should have taken them more seriously. Now your life's on the line. You don't get to decide how people react when you disrespect them. You don't get to decide how people react when you create beef or fake beefs or you troll them. You don't get to decide. Shout out to Rubber212 writes, I'm the same way, always respectful because you just never know with people and I prefer to live. For me, it's not even I prefer to live, to be honest with you, because at this point, I've done everything I wanted to do. Many of the things I ever wanted to do, I've done it more than one time. I've lived the life of 10 men. I don't have anyone majorly depending on me. It's not necessarily that I want to live. Like, to be honest with you all, I have a great life. I really enjoy life most of the time. But I believe that when I die, it's over. It's the same thing as before you were born, non-existence. So non-existence, maybe the process of dying could be unpleasant, but non-existence is non-existence. So I'm fairly indifferent on it. Sometimes life can be unpleasant. Sometimes life is very good. So I'm not so attached to life where I'm like, I must live. And like, even when people are like, I wish you a long life, I'm like, I don't know if I necessarily want a long life. Like, wish me an exciting life. I don't know about long, kind of been different on that part. So it's hard for people to get outside of their own thinking and feelings. And in their inability to do that, they create these false, very negative narratives and interpretations to make them feel better. These boys want to feel better about not knowing what to do with free men who are living on their own terms and refuse to be disrespected. That's just a type of person. They're not a bad person. They're a type of person. In fact, I feel completely fine with guys like that walking around because, frankly, it wasn't a random killing. I don't have to fear that guy because I'm not a disrespectful person. I don't have to fear that guy. I don't have to fear him because I don't just go around randomly disrespecting people, and I don't go around trying to take people's source of income. One thing I know for sure, you take a man's source of income, you will drive him to very, very vile behaviors. So when they're playing with this man's income through the copyright strikes or stealing content or whatever it is, yeah, you playing with people's money, that'll get you killed. Like, how do we not know that? How is that not well known? Come on, man. I thought that was common knowledge. Playing with people's money and get you killed.
No. So you made a video about this guy a year ago.
What up, YouTube? Happy Tuesday. My fault. My day's all jacked up. But quick video. Woke up this morning. Shout out Sin City family. They got our last 2 videos taken down. It don't matter. We're going to keep doing it. But this time I'm going to ask y'all, can y'all subscribe to the new channel? Sin City Finney on YouTube. I'm a part of the family now. I'm the Black Stepchild. Manny accepted me in. Manny got the other videos taken down. I didn't do it.
The dumbest beef I've ever seen.
Sin City Manny West has 14,000 plus followers. God damn.
A month? Do you know? You're in that range. You're looking at making 1,000 to 2,000 a month.
So here's the thing. So he said $1,000 to $2,000 a month. But for someone who, so say the guy's on the upper end, he's making $2,000 a month, tax free, right? Because if you're an independent contractor, you pay taxes at your discretion. You owe them, but you pay them at your discretion, unlike a W-2 employee. So the guy's making $2,000 a month, about $24K per annum, but that's before taxes, and he may not be paying taxes. Which, if you were a working stiff, maybe you're making $40,000 a year, and by the time it hits your bottom line, it's $24,000. After the government robs you for state taxes, federal taxes, Social Security, Medicare, and whatever else they steal. So that's a lifestyle for someone. And maybe the guy's not the brightest star in the sky, who knows what his circumstances are, but that's something that people strive to attain. And that's one of the things that I absolutely hate about our political class, is that they have no connection to everyday people. They really are truly arrogant and elitist in a bad way. And I think Abba and Preach are also very elitist in a bad way. I think there's good ways to be elitist. I think this is just in a bad way. And me, I truly will never forget the value of $1. I'm very thankful for my very humble beginnings. And that's why you can still see me doing real things. I was in a Food Lion recently, which is like the most terrible supermarket you could ever go into. And trust me, I didn't really want to be there, but I don't have any problem going in there. When I was coming out, there's a brother that was like, hey, I am 50 something years old, and everything you say is how it used to be, and you have to keep. And I had a nice little conversation with my old lady, who was just standing to the side for like 10 minutes. She's like, what did he say to you? He's like, 10 minutes. I was like, bro, had a lot on his mind. But you can catch me at a Food Line. You can catch me in a hood, whether it's a hood in America or a hood abroad, because I will never fear those people. That's what I actually come from. I will never be too good for those people. There's nothing wrong with being poor. There's a lot wrong with being dirty. You hear me? Like, being dirty is a different thing. That's a choice. Being poor is possibly a temporary circumstance. But I'll never be too good for people. I'll never be able to put down the value of a dollar, the value of working for your money. And this guy was working for his money. He valued his money. He valued his source of income. He valued his work that he had put in. He was on his come up. And maybe that's as high as some people will get. And so to them, that's everything. And the idea that someone got in the way of his money, he ain't like that. I think it's completely fair, completely reasonable. I think he's only guilty of disturbing the peace.
Depending on how much you post and how your monetization works, you're not looking at much. These guys killing each other over peanuts. I mean, there's no number that's worth killing. Like, it could be millions, and I'm still not shooting nobody.
No, but I would understand if it was million. I'm not.
See this? I want you guys to pay attention. Now you understand Abba and Preach. You understand the real Abba and Preach. They said, well, if it was millions, I could understand, which is to say there's a price tag on their freedom. There's a price tag on their respect. There's a price tag on them defending themselves as a man. It's about the money. It's not about the principle. See, they can't comprehend the idea of a man being about respect, of a man being about principles. It's about the money. So they said, oh, it's not enough money on the line, so it doesn't make sense to me. That's what they're saying.
It's not saying that, oh yeah, there's a number that we get it. It's just that if you're battling over not even 1,000, it's not going to affect you. You're going to keep on doing your thing. You killed someone.
That's crazy. He says that money's not going to affect him. How do you know? How do you know? Listen, I can't emphasize enough how much you don't know what people are going through. When I got hit with those 2 hurricanes in Puerto Rico, one, of course, destroyed my place in Puerto Rico. It destroyed my business because we had so many contracts unclosed that were already closed. No one thought, maybe Marquett's homeless or maybe Marquett's, broke or down bad right now. You would never think that from the outside because you're like, nah, bro has like offices here and there and he's running this business. But what you would not have known is that I just pushed an extraordinary percentage of the budget very aggressively into marketing because I was banking on the contracts that were already signed on the island. We had a huge amount of money pending, about to be paid out. So I said, okay, well, I know this money is about to hit our bottom line. It's going to hit our bank, in just a matter of weeks. I can exhaust the budget and push out on marketing to drive up the sales because we're in a critical time right now where these B2B companies we're working with are making decisions. So let's get in front of them. Let's push out the marketing, empty out the budget on marketing. Doesn't matter. We got huge amount of money about to hit our bank in just a matter of weeks. We've signed with multiple. We had the damn near the whole island. All of the trade schools, the nursing schools. What? So you could have never guessed oh yeah, no, this guy's done. This guy's done for. Everything's upside down. You couldn't have guessed that because it almost wouldn't make any sense. You don't know what people are going through. And here's the other crazy thing. This is a true story. My mother said, well, why don't you just get a job? Which is completely reasonable. She's like, you got good degrees and you have a good network. Just get a job. I was like, no, because if I get a job, I won't be able to raise capital. If I get a job, the people who've already invested in my corporation are going to lose faith. If I get a job, it'll probably be a high paying job and hell, I'll lose faith. And then I'll be back in the thing that I tried to escape. I was like, no, I'd rather struggle. I'd rather be homeless. But literally though, I'd rather literally be homeless than take a job. I've come too far. I will not take a job. I would rather be homeless. I'm going to make this work or I'm going to be homeless until I figure out something else that I can make work. So I say that to say, no one from the outside would have said, oh, Marquett's homeless or Marquett lost everything or Marquett has to start from scratch. No, wouldn't make sense to think that. And did I tell anyone that? No, because it's going to make it harder for me to raise capital. Because here's the thing. Imagine this. Imagine you get hit with 2 hurricanes, you lose your home, you lose your place of business, you have a huge amount of money uncloses, you still got bills in the business, and you need to raise millions of dollars to get things back on track. Meaning to pick up where you left off because you were in hyper growth, but you were focused on the island I was living on the island. I was focused on only those deals because we had gotten there with a government grant. We had to show progress on the island. So I was focused only on the island. That's the only place we were trying to work on deals. We were doing BD there, hiring employees there. That was the only place we were focused at that time. Can you imagine the psychology that you have while you're actually pretty much homeless? Like I lost my whole wardrobe, for example. Like there were maggots in the refrigerator. There was water and everything all throughout my wardrobe. Like you couldn't take anything just but the clothes on your back. Imagine being homeless while needing to raise millions of dollars. Do you know what that does to your psyche? Like when you are in utter poverty and you need to go and present to people and tell them, yeah, I need $1.8 million to do X, Y, and Z, while having not even $100 in your pocket. Do you think anyone I was raising capital from that was hearing my pitch was imagining that I had nothing anymore? No. So you don't have any clue what's going on with anybody. Like, for example, I was recently watching, I may have mentioned this previously. There's an Instagram reel. There's some guy that I used to see on BET. I used to see him on like mainstream media. And he said, oh, I just want to show you guys this New York apartment. And he was basically showing how bad it was. He was like, yeah, this is $7,000 a month, which is outside of my budget. But I just want to let you guys know what $7,000 get you in New York. And I was watching like, that's outside of your budget? God damn. I would have never thought that I was that much better off than you are. Like, but you're assuming that people are doing well when they're not. You're assuming because someone's famous that they're rich. It's not always the case. You're assuming that people are wealthier than they are. Not always the case. So it's like you don't know what's going on. And you shouldn't try to guess. You just need to be respectful of people as they are, and treat people with respect based on how they present themselves.